I just got back from walking Duncan, and I still have my coat on, and I actually have a hoodie underneath, and I am still chilled. It is definitely fall here, and the leaves are changing, and the temperature has changed. And with that, with each season, do you find that it brings a little bit of change? Maybe it's a change in attitude. Maybe it's a change in routine. Maybe it's a change in the things that you do. But it brings some sort of change, I feel. Each season is a little bit different. Now, if you live in a climate that doesn't have seasons, do the holidays or some sort of marker mark the time to change? I'm just curious. I want different foods at different seasons. Like in the summertime, I want light foods like lots of like cucumber salads and fruit. And in the fall and the winter, I want soups and stews and potatoes and things along those lines. Anybody know why? I don't know why I feel that way. Do you feel that way? Yeah, I need some good soup recipes. Stews. I love stews. Like really thick and creamy without the cream. I know that a lot of people who don't do dairy, they somehow use cashews. Or I like to use coconut milk because I can use coconut milk. And that makes it really thick and creamy. And I like the flavor of coconut, so that doesn't bother me. And I make a super yummy butternut squash soup. And I don't think it has any cream in it. I think it's just butternut squash and vegetable broth, if I remember correctly. I don't think there's actually any kind of milk or cream in there. I sprinkle bacon on top. Now it's making me want to make some. And the nice thing with soups and stews is that you can actually freeze them and have them, whenever you're in the mood to have them. Because they make when I make a big pot. I'm not going to eat it for 6 days. So it's nice to be able to pull it out when I want it. I've got some things in the freezer I should really pull out. Same thing with like chili. In my old neighborhood on Halloween, they would trick or treat. And we were spread out. We had about 6 acres. And so the other neighbors would have trailers and they'd put hay on it or pickup trucks with hay on it. And the kids would sit on the hay and they would drag them around to we did stations because the driveways were like 250 feet long and that was too long for the little legs of the little ones. So we would all congregate in different stations. And so you would have like 5 or 6 stations. The kids would get off the trailer and do trick or treat, and all the people that lived on that street would come to one location. And it was fun. It was so fun because different locations had different things for the adults. Some of them, like we had hot chocolate that the kids could have, and then they could add peppermint schnapps or Kahlua or, make it an adult hot chocolate. And other ones, they had bonfires that they could come and sit for a minute. And we got creative, and each station was a little bit different. Because the going up and down to each individual house wasn't an option. And one individual was so kind to orchestrate a gathering after they went trick-or-treating. We would all congregate on this person's property and have a bonfire, and we would bring out chili. We did have it a couple of years inside their house. That's a little cray-cray. That's a lot of people. But we have chili and, again, more hot chocolate. We would do s'mores. There was a haunted hayride for the kids where they would go on the track. We had what are those things called? Like a lawnmower. Wasn't a lawnmower. They used it to mow their lawns, but it had help me find the words. It had one of those buckets in the front. Oh, Anyway, a small tractor, I guess, a small tractor, and they would hook a like wagon or something behind it, and the kids would get in, and they would go through the woods, and there was somebody who owned horses, and they would bring their horse, and they would ride up the street as the headless horseman, and there were individuals on the hayride through the woods. There were people who would jump out with chainsaws, and it was just fun. It was just fun. You know, I have so many wonderful memories of my time living there. Yeah, incredible memories. And the kids would trade candy, and the adults would have their adult beverages, whether that was beer, wine, or some sort of, now they have hard cider and all that other stuff. And we would just sit and chat and stay warm around the fire. It was a big fire. They don't do that here, because where I live now, the houses are much closer together. And so the kids run up and down. And you know what's funny is that I live on about an acre. Most of the properties where I live are about a half to 3/4 of an acre. They're at least a half an acre. So they're further apart, but they're not that far apart. Over on the other side of the subdivision, they're even closer together. They're like 1/4 acre at best. So do you know that the people on my street put their kids in the car and drive them to the other section so that they can go up and down and get more candy? They don't even come to my house. Yeah, the first couple of years they did. And I went through quite a bit of candy. And I don't even go through one bag of candy. Probably not even a half a bag. And then the cleanup crew comes. Those that are middle school, high schoolers who come along with a big pillowcases to just the cleanup crew. Whatever's left that you don't want to have, you just dump into their bags. Thank you to the cleanup crew, because I don't want that much chocolate in my house. And so what do you do for Halloween? Do you dress up? When I was a kid, my mother used to have a squirt bottle filled with water. And when the kids would come up and say, trick or treat, she goes, do you want the trick or do you want the treat? And of course they would say, we want the treat. And she said, well, first you have to have the trick. And she would squirt them with the water. And she thought that was funny. But we also did one year we considered it wasn't like a haunted house, but it was really interesting. We would blindfold people, and would we blindfold people? Or was it just really dark? I think it was just really dark. And you would get on and you would, now I can't remember. I'm going to have to ask my brother and sisters. I do remember one year doing a coffin, and somebody rose up out of the coffin to give out candy. I remember we had like a pergola over the front door. Do you know what a pergola is? A pergola is wood slats, but it doesn't have any roof on top. They're just slats. And I remember climbing up and being like a witch or something, and then throwing candy down to the kids when I was growing up and got older and like high school and stuff. And there was a year that you would come in and you would stand on this wood, and we would jiggle the wood, and we would like take you on a journey. But now I can't remember how we did that. I remember doing it one year though, something like that. I'll have to ask my brother and sisters and see if they can remember. Their memories might be a little sharper than mine. But what do you do? Do you dress up? Do you give out candy? Do you give out, for a long time, I boycotted candy. I figured, you know what, you get candy at every other house. And there's a company called Oriental Trading. And I would get all sorts of toys. I would get whoopee cushions and those Chinese torture chambers where you put your fingers in, you can't take them out. And glow sticks and tattoos and horns and the ones that go whoop, whoop. It has like a little hook that you pull out. I did kazoos and the little things that have a ball in them and a maze, and you have to tilt them to get the ball from the beginning to the end. I just picked things that I thought would be fun for the kids. And do you know that my husband said, Aim, you're going to get us egged. People are going to egg our house because you don't have candy. And do you know that I eventually went out and got like a small bowl of like Tootsie Rolls or something, and most kids went to the toys, not the candy. Most kids, they get candy everywhere. Now, I didn't give out things like toothbrushes or apples or something like that. They were fun little toys. One of those punch balls. God, I used to give away all sorts of cool things. And now my stash, I've been here 12 years and I've never had to reorder because I just don't get that very many people. Maybe I might be at my daughter's this year. Maybe I'll buy a bunch of stuff and put it in a cauldron and bring it up to her when I go. We'll see. But yeah, what kind of traditions do you have around Halloween? Do you dress up? Do you give out candy? Do you give out toys? Do you do stations? Do you do a bonfire? Do you have a party like where everyone comes? When I first moved in here, we met up at someone's house here, and that was really nice of them. They invited everybody from the street over. We all brought, our candy. There was, we all brought a dish. There was tons of chili and cornbread and spooky cupcakes and all sorts of stuff. And then they moved, and nobody really wanted to open their house for that. So it's kind of sad. It is. It's kind of sad because I have a lot of great memories, and it's sad that not that the kids nowadays won't have those memories. They'll just have different memories, right? Like when I was growing up, most of the time we just went trick-or-treating. We didn't have parties after and exchanging candy, and we didn't have haunted houses to go through. And we didn't have all of that for most of my childhood. We just did normal trick-or-treating. But you don't know what you're missing until you realize there's other things that people do. I have a friend in Portugal who lives in like a high-rise, almost like a condo, right? Condo, I guess. And the hallway on each floor, they all decorate to the nines. And it's really cool with skeletons and cats and bats and fog machines and fun. Now I look at that as, oh God, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of crap to have to purchase and store and put up and take down. And what a Scrooge. That's a Scrooge attitude, Amy. Yeah, a little bit of that's a little Scroogey. So I'm getting my fun back. Let me know what you do for Halloween so that maybe you can give me some fun ideas of what to do. I typically, like I said, give out toys, and sometimes I dress up. I used to play scary music outside, so when they would walk up, it would clink, 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 on a tape recorder or on a DVD player, both of which are kind of extinct at this point because most of the stuff you can just stream off of YouTube or Spotify or some other streaming service. Makes it a little easier, actually, I think. What do you think? And what do you do? And what are you going to plan to do now? Because we're what? I think today's the 20th? Today's the 20th. So we're about 10 days out, 10, 11 days out. You still have time. I haven't even bought anything yet. Let me know. Share your favorite holiday your favorite Halloween memory as a kid. And if you have children or grandchildren, maybe your favorite holiday memory with them. Oh, goodness. I made my girls bags. I went out and bought black canvas bags, and then I ironed on their names, and then I piped around them in paints around them so that they wouldn't fray. And I had like ghosts and stuff like that. I'll have to pull one out and show you. And then I did reflective tape around the top. Of course, it only lasted so long because then, you know, when they're little, that's plenty of candy, first of all. And second of all, they don't last going out very long. They get tired out. But when they got bigger, they didn't want those little bags because they wanted more candy. So, oh, goodness. You know, those memories. Oh, they bring me such fond thoughts and feelings. And I'm looking forward to creating more of those memories. I told you that I am the Julie McCoy of my own Love Boat, right? If you remember the show Love Boat, some people don't remember it. It's okay. Julie McCoy was the events director, the program director for the Love Boat. And I am my own events coordinator, director of my life. And so if I want more fun like that, then it's up to me to create that. And now that I'm going to be having a little bit more time in my life to do that, I'm kind of excited about this new chapter. You know, I am. It's different. And sooner or later, I'll have a little one, a little grandkid. And then the newness and the awe of the holidays is new again for me too, right? When you get to see it through the eyes of a little one, it's fun again, you know? So anyway, I hope that even if you don't have a little one to enjoy Halloween with, even if your kids are big like mine, that you can get in touch with the little one inside you and make it fun this Halloween. Yeah, this Halloween, I'm not even going to be home. I'm going to be at my daughter's. So, yeah, we'll find something fun. We'll find something really fun to do. And that's really it. That's really it that I wanted to share. I really wanted to see what's going on with you, how you celebrate, and maybe give you some inspiration and motivation to do some things, to bring some joy, make some memories, and maybe go back and relive some of the memories that you have from your childhood or from your kids growing up and bring them back this year. Make it fun. And I look forward to reading your rituals, your traditions, and I'm excited to maybe incorporate some of those in my next chapter. So thanks so much for sharing those with me, and I will catch you, my friend, tomorrow. Make it a terrific Tuesday. See ya.